Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Money Store. This is the introduction. My name is AJ. Here we talk about X LLDM matters. We talk about different news in regards to this religious organization known as La Luz del Mundo. And yeah, today I have my friend, good friend Julian, over in the other side of the continent. And yeah, hey, what's up, man? It's good to have you on. Good to talk to you again,
What's up, man? Yeah, it's been a while.
for
You were
sure.
saying it's been since May since we have made a video, and we just been. It's not like we've been like not trying to. We just I guess caught up in our lives.
Yeah, for sure.
What I was thinking about yesterday was since the last time we made a video, I was thinking like it feels just different now that I'm out. I'm not in this like routine where like my life's just always I know what I'm doing. Like it's always like a repeat. Like either you're on sales, your activity, making tamales or something. It was always like the same thing. Like I felt like in a routine. And now that I've been out, I feel like I've gotten like more stuff done with myself. Like I just do more. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah,
I
for
just feel
sure.
like I took off like in a rocket and I'm gone and I could see things like way different. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like my mind, I guess, but it feels good though.
Hmm.
It's a good thing,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
you know, just I don't know. It just feels good to know that
Hmm.
there's just so much out there, and then you can get more stuff done. Then when I was in church, I was always like limited because of my time. Like La Luz del Mundo takes a lot of your time, and this is why I say like it feels like a year in a routine because I mean, as me, I was always the type to like I wanted to just be try to give as much as I can, and try to be a good kid in La Luz del Mundo. So,
Yeah.
tamales, and then after that, like studying, and then whatever activities going on that day. And it's just always like you're just always your mind's just like
Hmm.
LLDM. It's
Those
it's
temples are
kind of
open every
crazy.
freaking day, multiple times a day, like for a reason. Like it's to just
Yeah.
keep to freaking let you know that like at every so yeah, thank you for saying that. And yeah, it comes down to like, it's just extra time in your hands that you can do that you can use. You don't have to worry about someone telling you that, God gives you 24 hours. Can you at least give them one? Which like the services aren't even like 1 hour anymore. Like, it
And
would grow over time.
yeah, and
Uh,
it's not even one, dude. Like you go home and you gotta go study
yeah. And you
and
got to
take notes,
change
and then you gotta
and,
yeah, and then you gotta go buy your specific outfit and
mhm.
yeah, but
Yeah, but they want you thinking about church all the freaking time. It takes up a lot of your thinking time. They at every meal, something that's across your mind is praying, and just over time, once you leave, you see how the time like really stacks up. And like today to Sunday morning, that I probably took for granted more than like earlier Sunday mornings, but like it's all
yeah,
Sunday mornings that where you have like the chunk of time that's given back to you, and that's important. What was I gonna say? Yeah, like you were saying, we haven't done a video since May. We both got caught up with our lives. I was out of town for like well over a month at one point, and then there was um other chunks of like of my life where I was just gone for like several weeks, and it was just a different pace of life in the summer for myself. But I haven't forgotten about any of this stuff, and I'm glad that my friend Morgan over at My Spiritual Life helped me, invited me on to talk with her. And I spoke with her for like an hour and a half, perhaps. And I, gave an update on all my thoughts to someone to in her audience. I tailored it to sort of as like a sort of update on what's going on. And, people can go check that out. I've already
yeah,
uploaded it to my channel. Another thing I was going to say was that, uh, and then yeah, also like caught up in our personal lives, just everyone has had to like deal with the result of the criminal case, the ultimate results of it, and try to see how it's played out in their own, personal lives. I'm not going to talk about that here. We can talk about that later when we're not recording, but like, but that's something that I've had to do, obviously. And then there's some friends, there's at least one friend that I remember reaching out to months ago, maybe a year ago, very lightly, and they gave me a sort of vanilla answer of like, no, I can't talk, you something, respect our beliefs. and so we just left it at that. But then, since the conviction, this person reached out to me again, and he said, he said, "Yo, hey, I actually I'm out and this and this. I talked to my minister, and our family's treating us like this and other stuff like
Wow.
that." So
Yeah.
what I'm saying is that like the for sure a lot of news has come out, and I appreciate all the people who've been putting out their content and their work, but then some other like people like me just wanted to let it sit, let it be out there for a while, and me deal with it myself before making stuff like this. But talking to you is freaking great opportunity to talk about it and share our thoughts about what's going on.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
cool, bro. To for someone to reach out back, reach to you, and then you spoke to them prior to this whole thing and of him getting convicted, and then they reach back and they tell you, hey, you know what? I ended up leaving or getting out.
yeah,
I mean,
them
I'm
and their
sure it
partner,
happened, and
and they were very like devoted
yeah.
and all that stuff. And these two people, like, I was very surprised. I was like, oh my God, this is like the best news ever, and then we get to talking, and so that consumes a lot of time. But I wanted to share that with people.
I have a friend,
Yeah.
bro. He's not a member, but he's dating. He's dating a member. He's dating a she member, just to like, I don't know.
Hmm.
Anyways, she happens to be like close, not really close, but like she's in the south area of California. Anyways, he's been watching our videos and he said that he tells me all the time he's been waiting for like more videos, but he just like he's like barely started watching our videos, right? And he did not know how this whole thing what really was with La Luz del Mundo, and he's been having a lot of issues now with his partner. I talked to him and I told him what to expect, what to be ready for, what to look out for.
Hmm.
Um, you know, just to be patient. And it's kind of hard to really talk to someone who is not from the community, but is dating somebody from the community.
Hmm.
Like I told him how it is, and anyways, it's he tells me that she's been like seeing a lot of people that she looked up to in La Luz del Mundo, like people who were, we have those members who are very involved, who are honest, who
Yeah,
are
for sure.
hardworking.
For
Because
sure.
La Luz del Mundo, there's like everyone I know is it's very hardworking people, really good people. So when you see people like that, you look up to, and they're leaving, they're just out, they're no longer members. I think it kind of hits you pretty hard, and
Yeah.
it kind of makes you say, hey, you know what, like something's not right. I mean, and I think a lot of members are still in because of that, because they feel comfortable because they're surrounded by like their family or people that are still in, that are
Hmm.
still. But once those people start to leave, then I think it kind of shakes their ground a little bit.
Hmm.
Because in reality, I never thought that any member that's still on Luz del Mundo at this point, it's not really like what they call faith. I think it's just they're comfortable, like they look around and they might see some members still there, and it gives
Hmm.
them some sort of like comfort to still stay there,
Yeah,
even
for
though they
sure.
have all these questions. Because I think at this point, a lot of members they have some question like why did he plead guilty, or just so many things, dude.
Yeah,
That
why aren't we wearing white this Santa Cena?
like why
Yeah.
just the fact that he promised he was gonna get out like so many times, and and now he's just gonna say he's guilty, like so God lied to him, or like what happened, like it's just so many questions, bro. And
Yeah.
I think a lot of members are just at this point are either afraid is to ask or speak out, because the minute you do, they're going to like, oh, you're doubting, like, and that's what's wrong. That's why this thing's like so weird. Like no one can say hey, or at least have like a question. It's like you're labeled, and the fact that they don't have the liberty to even ask,
Hmm.
because they know that they're gonna be looked at a certain way
Yeah.
by their family or anyone. But I know a lot of people who's been mentally out, but they're still there. I think right now is the time for all those people, those members who are mentally out. You gotta ask yourself how long are you gonna live like this, being in a place where you're not there. You know that you know the truth. What this whole thing is about, but yet you still are there. I think that contributes, and I think you said this in the past. This contributes to the whole thing because for all the members who are already out, mentally out, and one day just boom, they just leave, walk out, stop showing up. Like that's gonna help other members who are starting to like have doubts or ask questions snap out of it even faster, and wake up because a lot of it is just just physically being there. It gives everybody else like kind of like the
A legitimacy,
idea,
you know?
yeah, the
Yeah,
idea
like
that everything's still okay, but it's not. It's not. Everybody just kind of ignoring the whole thing and waiting for something boom to happen so that they can leave. But it starts with you. Whoever's watching this video, like and you thinking like, man, well, what are they gonna say? Like you have to do it at one point, and it's not about you're gonna hurt their feelings. It's about you. It's about you being happy. We're not saying get out and start, you know, partying and because that's the first thing they members think like that's really what we want to do. Like get out and oh look, he just wants to go drink and smoke and just be the ultimate sinner or whatever. And that's what I hate, dude. That's one
mhm.
thing that I hate about
Yeah, that there's no legitimate way to leave the group, and like that's a red flag, you know? Like
even if
there's
okay,
uh
even if you left, like let's say I leave and for example, I got a tattoo. Okay, see? And that's just the first thing members look at. Just because I left and I got a tattoo. No, that's why you want me to leave because you want me to get tattoos. Like, nah, I'm gonna stay here. Like, just because I got a tattoo, that does not mean that like Nason didn't commit these crimes. Like, okay, yeah,
they
you're
don't
right.
cancel
I
each other
shouldn't
out,
get a
right?
tattoo. I shouldn't get
Yeah.
one. Fine, I agree with you. But that doesn't prove that I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Like, they'll look at any little thing of your life once you leave La Luz del Mundo to justify themselves feeling good about their church or staying there. Like I get it. I'm not this perfect person, but you know, like look at the information in other words. Anyways, sorry I kind of ranted
Yeah,
there.
no, definitely. I know what you mean. Um I was gonna say that yeah, that that there's no legitimate reason why anyone would leave in the organization, that there's no such thing as that for them. And so, why entertain someone who comes up to you telling you that, hey, I left, I know a bunch of stuff, let me help you. You're just supposed to outright dismiss them. And then I was gonna say that this is always useful to say, but the real like mission of a channel like mine, of a conversation with someone like you, of why I talk to you and admire what you do and what other people do um around us in the first place, is that like La Luz del Mundo is just a set of, the doctrine is just a set of ideas that people believe to one degree or another, and that the system, the organization wants everyone to believe like hardcore. But the thing is that like these ideas are dumb. These ideas that Nason can do the things that is magical, he's anointed by God, he can do miracles, etc. That he hired these lawyers because um there's a conspiracy against him, that yes, they're admitting to all these certain things that defame his character, um uh in that defame his character in our eyes, but it just doesn't matter, it's none of your business, just consecrate yourself more, God is dusting the rug, he's getting all the unfaithful people out, just really what we're trying to do is like just tell the story like that, and not the way and how the story is told in church, which is there's really no story. um and that it's the members themselves, that like the members around us that we grew up with, like literally none of us have like basically like very few people have ever shaken Nason's hand, like so many of these people don't actually know him. And the thing is that
Yeah.
it's the members, it's so many of the everyday members that are themselves the honorable ones, they themselves are the innocent ones, they're the
Yeah.
ones who are captured um in different ways by this dumb set of ideas and this dumb organization with certain rules that controls a person, that makes them childish and like closed-minded to even like debating and defending the thing that's supposedly most precious to them, because because they're not capable. It'd be bad if you go and engage and read the stuff for yourself. This is how the devil wants to get you. Like yeah, what we're saying is that the members themselves are the honorable and the innocent ones, and we just want to help them, be better. So many of them want to have like a serious moral compass. They want to have a relationship with God. Um they feel that they need some sort of deep spiritual fulfillment in them. I totally get that. I absolutely
Yeah.
respect and I support them in that. But the thing is that, people like you and I see them and we're like, okay, we get that. But you're doing it in a very dumb way, and it's actually causing people to hurt one another. It's causing families to separate one another because they think that the Mexican man is like magical, and it's
I
um
think
yeah, go on.
I think this is why a lot of the members in La Luz del Mundo, um, this might sound kind of mean, but I've noticed that like at least where I'm at, like the church that went to and stuff, like all the members who are now members, before they were members, it's not like they were like people who would pick up the Bible and just like read it every day and they knew it's and then, they know like no like bro you didn't know any of it, anything. Like my family wouldn't read the Bible at all, and down generations, all these kids now they're born into the church. So if you go back to the beginning to like your founding fathers in your family chapter, like who were the ones who introduced your family to La Luz del Mundo? Now ask them or see, did they know the Bible or study this book? They don't. So ultimately, all the members, from the very beginning of their family roots, there were people who did not weren't educated. Let's just put it that way into this book of the Bible. So here comes Nason and a group of people who have this like set of rules planned out to make you see how Nason is somehow hot. Well, I like to say it like this: Nason has hot wired himself into you when you believe in God, because everybody has this like urge or this like need to believe in God or a spiritual life, right? But Nason has somehow he's hot wired himself, bro, with to when you think of God, you're thinking of Nason any
Hmm.
way you want to put it. So in La Luz del Mundo, like I was thinking like when these guys want to believe in God, like the Nason is just there. They don't know how to just believe in God or have
Hmm.
this feeling towards God or the spiritual belief without having Nason in the picture. This is why you see all these logos, and you need if you're gonna believe in God, you need to believe in Nason. That's just the bottom line. And that's where like the this doctrine or this this information of that they fed them is just totally twisted, and more because of they did not know anything else. Like I tell my dad, like, okay, what did you know about this book before these people came and just taught you what they want to teach you? Like, did you have your point of view at first? You didn't have no point of view to compare it to. You know what I mean? Like I hate to put it like a whole Bible study thing. I'm not trying to,
Hmm.
but to them, it's like this is how it is. They can't leave because they just believe that Nason is just like the Bible 2.0, and you know what I mean. Like, it's just like they have to go do their research. Um, they have to just like you said, they have to um just find a way, like find information. Um, there's YouTube, there's so much things, and you know I know it's a big part of themselves, especially for them to do it on their own. I remember me taking those first steps to look at information, uh, just typing Nason in Google or whatever. I felt weird, dude. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy. I remember one time I told a member here where I'm at, I was like, hey, I looked this up and Nason Joaquin. When I said that, he was like,
Yeah.
like his reaction was like, like you dared, like I just like. and I felt bad, but it's just like the control, bro. Like it's weird. It's
Hmm.
crazy, and it's not like okay, chill. It's not like he knows, you know. Like I don't know. It's
Yeah, God
crazy.
knows though, man. Um, yeah, yesterday I was listening to there's this woman, Sarah M. Manjarez. I'm not too sure how to pronounce the last name, but I think we've mentioned her
Oh yeah, yeah,
before.
yes,
Uh,
yes. I
she
follow her
she
on
does
Instagram.
Yeah, she does work on TikTok and other platforms, and I haven't seen really much of it in the past couple months. I haven't sat down to go look. I've been deleting some stuff like social media and like staying away from it more often. Um, but I was gonna say that yeah, yesterday I listened to her her interview with Morgan at My Spiritual Life, and it's uploaded on her channel. I'll link it down if I remember.
Oh,
Uh,
they
But
did a
um,
video.
but
I didn't
yeah,
know
she
that.
she was also talking about that where she those first months of the arrest, and she would type something. I remember her describing something where she typed something on her phone and she opened a web page and then like immediately like just got off of that. Like she just wanted to just have the page load on her screen and then destroy and then like stay away from it.
Yeah,
And yeah, that's something that they put into you. That this is some sort of hot potato idea that they have of you, that to tell you that these typing the magical letters in your browser is the devil, um you know um luring you in. Just don't even do that.
yeah.
And one other thing I'll share is that so I had wanted to leave La Luz del Mundo like years before I actually did. And this was let's say like the early years of Nason. I remember just researching a lot of um material against religion in general. And then I for sure like wanted to stop going to our church. And then I was very free. I found myself very freely like looking at material that was like talking about the Bible and talking about religion in general, just sort of talking negatively about it, is how I'll describe it. But even in those early times, like um I never it got around exactly to looking up what exactly is wrong with the one particular religion that I grew up with.
Oh yeah,
They put those sort of mental blocks on you. I'm not too sure if I was like conscious of that back then, but that's just something I never did. And like we're saying right now, and like well before we dive into other stuff, it's important to just handle the information for yourself. Like the pastors, the Consejo de Obispos, these people are not out there in the media defending the precious man like 24/7, like one would think they would do. Instead, it's
especially
it's
especially
Mhm.
if they violated his rights like they say they did. Like
Yeah, yeah,
I don't see
yeah,
Abraham or his kids like rallying, bro,
yeah, no,
or invite. Like if this was really true, think about it. If this was true and they violated his rights, with the lawyers that this church has, they would have like can't bro, this
you
would have
guys
been
could have made a
huge
bunch
in
of money.
California.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would have been crazy big. Like, California violates this man's rights and imprisons him for like whatever time, and yet Nason, knowing this and his lawyers knowing this, they just, all right, well, let's just plead guilty. Like, yeah, but let's be nice. I'm the apostle. What would Christ do? Probably just give him a break. I'll just take this time. Bro,
Uh-huh.
nah. Like, this would have been like, bro, come on. They would have made money out of this. They would have sued. They could have sued and just made like, this would have been huge if it was true. But it's not true. Like,
Yeah.
members need to wake up and go to the transcripts and see Nason was aware of what was going on. The judge was even asking him like, "Are you sure you want to plead guilty?
Yeah.
Like
You
you're
can go
gonna give
read the
up
text
all
for
your
yourself.
rights.
Yeah.
You can bring up your witnesses." The whole thing, this press conference, was like the opposite of what happened. And I think, I don't know if I told you, Jack
Hmm.
Freeman, the minister, Jack Freeman,
Yeah.
tall white guy that everybody like. Everyone knows him in La Luz del Mundo. He's like the only minister tall,
Hmm.
and he was my minister too. Very smart man, dude. I really looked up to him, like as far as like, asking him questions of like whatever information.
Hmm.
Back when I was a member, he was just very bright, smart man, wise person. Anyways, I followed him on Facebook. I had forgot I followed him on Facebook, and one day I was on Facebook, and I saw him post a press release, and I already knew that was just BS, right? It was crap. It was just totally a lie. I don't know if he knows or if he has access to the transcripts. Maybe he won't even dare to, I guess. I don't know. But
Hmm.
I had the transcripts, so I commented the pictures on his post because now you can comment actual, you can upload a picture. So I uploaded the transcript pictures on his post of the
Hmm.
press release, totally contradicting what they were saying. I told him like, you guys need to stop lying to people.
Hmm.
This look at this is the transcripts. This is the total opposite of what you're telling us. So he messaged me and he's like, really, Julian? And I'm like, dude, I was like, yo, come to my house with all your pastors and prove me wrong, bro. Come. I did it. I wasn't like rude or anything. I was like, come to my house with all your pastors and we'll settle this. Like, and he just laughed or something like a kid. Like, it was
Hmm.
like, what? Couldn't believe it. From this person, this is what I get, bro. It blew my mind. I was like, no way.
When was this? Like,
This was
how
like
long
when it
do
happened.
you
Like I
remember?
want to say a week
June?
after,
Yeah.
right, like a week after now, someone had pled guilty.
Hmm. Yeah.
They have no argument, dude. No
No, they
argument.
don't.
Eh, I don't get it. I don't get how members can just believe it.
Yeah.
Dude,
And
okay, like what? Like, okay,
yeah,
the sky is not blue, the sky is red. Prove me wrong. No, yeah, it's red or whatever. Dude, they
they.
just go for it.
Mhm.
It's insane.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, like over and over again, the ministers, the high and mighty people who make a lot of decisions, who are so close to the apostle and whatever else, um, these people are not like out in the media, defending this man relentlessly. And it's not like they can have like the platform 24/7, but I'm saying is that like I've really yet to see anybody go on Milenio, right? Like I'm pretty sure like the past couple months
Dude.
no church person has gone over to Millennial. There's no like countersuit. There's just the main defenders who are after the main defenders on like on YouTube that I think of. We can drop names. People like Kazuki and some sort of fellow by the name of Paramo and another guy named Vilches. These are people who are not ministers, but these are the people who are out there, slinging mud and trying to defend
Yeah.
Nason and to sort of clean his image up, or at least give people things to say for
Yeah.
when they feel like they have to defend Nason out wherever they are in their lives. And I'll add one last thing. There's this guy Daniel Cruz Benitez. I think he has some sort of YouTube channel. If I have the names right, there's this
De
TV or
Mexico. Em-
Emblemas de Mexico, something like that, right?
Yeah, that guy is so
Uh,
embarrassing, dude.
yeah, so I haven't seen his content exactly for myself, but I think sometime within the past week or two, I saw that he was saying that there was going to be a protest or a march in Mexico City or in Guadalajara or something about some sort of demonstration by church members to say that that Nason's rights were violated and whatnot, but and I'm not too sure if that's happening or something like that. Yeah, but I'm pretty sure that's what I saw, and I bring that up because like it's there's two heads on this. There's two heads on this like La Luz del Mundo monster. One that is supposed to be talking and is not saying everything that it should be saying, and then another one that's like behaving in a different way that sort of completely undermines like the organization. Like the YouTube defenders aren't supposed to be on fucking YouTube, talking about this stuff. And they're also like cursing and like being very disrespectful.
Oh yeah.
Apart from just being like
I think that's the
for lack of a better word, like evil. They're also just being like really bad. They're just like giving a bad image to the church.
Oh yeah.
Um,
You know what?
yeah.
I like to look at these YouTubers like they awaken like the fanatics because when I look in the comments of all these members who are supporting these people, these members who are cussing, defending a song with cussing words, like they don't even look like they don't even sound like members. Yet in their
Hmm.
comments, there's more members kind of with the same vibe, being rude and just you wouldn't see a member behave like that. So I
Mm-hmm.
call these guys like the guys who are waking up, like the fanatics of church. I even see members saying, "Hey, like why are we behaving like this?" And it's just
Mm-hmm.
like it's weird. It's I know exactly what you mean though.
Mm-hmm.
Um, One thing I wanted to point out to members to is if like you say, like I haven't not seen like Silem Garcia, like any actual high-ranking member from La Luz del Mundo to come out on the news and just explain what they're saying to the members in church. Explain it to us, to the world, to the real world. They can't. They'll get destroyed, bro. Like they'll laugh at them because
Yeah.
we're not just a member you can fool. Like the news outlets are, Univision, Telemundo, Milenio, like they have access to the transcripts. Like I bet you, like if they even try to say what they told the members, they'll look so like sorry, but they'll look stupid. They'll look like what? What are you? What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like what? And I'm like the members cannot just for 1 second question like, hey, well, why aren't we blasting this? If this happened to Nason and all this is true, and they violated his rights and he's in jail doing time for just because whatever, like why aren't we doing something to to um to defend him? Like we should be out there rallying, like like his son, his family, and they're not. They're like, nobody's doing nothing. You
Mm-hmm.
know it's just members are probably think. I always think like, what are members probably thinking right now? They're probably thinking the worst of the government. They're probably thinking like United States has like the most corrupt, like they like, do they know or remember how the real world works? Like, why isn't the church out there suing California for what they've done to this poor man? Like, they
Mm-hmm.
violated his rights. You know, I don't know. It's just so
Yeah.
weird. Like, here we have this person who says he can talk to God, who promised everyone that he's gonna get out and he has all his powers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he's like he can't do nothing to defend his life. He can't do
Yeah.
anything. He can't even talk. He needs lawyers. That his lawyers failed him because they wrongfully convicted him, and he's not wise enough to just like do anything. It's
Mm-hmm.
like there's just like this little cat that just got trapped in a little cage and he can't do anything. He can't get out, and like no one's doing nothing about it. Like his
Yeah.
family ain't doing nothing about it, and it's just like so sad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just
Yeah, for
embarrassing.
sure. Yeah, and it's a realization for me because I was I really wanted a bunch of people to just like mass exodus to get out, to have their Spartacus moment and get out of the organization like all at once when everything was slamming down in early June. But that's not what happened. It's really going to take time. It's really going to take like slow chips away at them. The falling revenue, increasing fatigue from the members because the members they just had their Holy Supper earlier 2 weeks ago, earlier this month, and basically what we can say about that is that they didn't have to wear white, so what? So they wouldn't look like a cult. There was no big mass convocation. Instead, it was just the Holy Supper on being streamed everywhere. Um, members are gonna the empty spaces in the churches is gonna continue to wear away at people. When I was
Yeah.
looking at pictures of the Holy Supper that went on a couple weeks ago, um people are in their temples, and for I think basically almost always, for the most part, they're wearing masks and they're separated, like they're the social distancing on the benches and everything, which we can say, okay, cool, we like that, but at the same time, what a like a weird isolating like uh situation to be in, where you're in church and you fucking have your mouth covered, and people have can't even see if you're si estás alabando. They can't even see if you're doing that. You can just kind of stay there, and
Yeah.
um it's weird. It's going to take a lot of patience from us, and I hope that it fatigues the organization more and more. I hope it just eats away at the members, that Alma, that the Joaquin family, these other people are not out there defending themselves and talking all over the place, and trying to do something about this, to them in their eyes, an injustice as great as like the crucifying of Christ. They think it's major and has, I don't know, they're just not doing that. I had something else to say, but I can't remember. Yeah.
You know what? Now that you're talking about the Holy Supper, I watched a video of this
Hmm.
person talking about in Guadalajara when you have a larger amounts of group of people waiting for the wine and the bread, and they have the golden cup, and they're sharing that same cup, bro, to like all these people. That's the
Hmm.
amount of saliva that goes in this cup after like the 40th person. Then, but
That's
yet there's
twigs.
thousands of
Yeah.
people, and you're just all you're doing is just kind of wiping it a little bit. Just kind of give it a little wipe, and here you go, and here you go, and here you go, and give it one more wipe, and then here you go, here you go. And
Hmm.
I thought about that, dude. The first year I went to Guadalajara, I was like I was in the moment, like praying and I'm gonna get this blessing, but I couldn't help that. I could not help that. Like, yo, you're just gonna give it a little wipe. Like, I want my own
Yeah.
cup, bro. I want my own
Uh-huh.
cup. Give me my. I'm not try. I'm not. I know I ain't special, but I'm not a Joaquin. But I want my own cup. Like, I'm not about to just swallow like 300 people's saliva or like whoever.
Yeah.
Bro, that's
And,
insane, dude. That's
yeah. Was
insane.
this in the
Like,
provincia?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
And no matter where you
crazy.
are, that whole place like is like an incubating like petri dish for like a week or two. Not to be like very gross about everything, but like people get sick, obviously. People come into contact with
And
one
there was
another.
report.
And then
Yeah.
and then imagine that, to top it all off, at the very end, right before everyone leaves, everyone's like drinking from cups that are being shared. Yeah, that's
Dude,
gross for
imagine
sure.
the amount of just
I
that
know.
blew my mind, bro. Like that
Bro, I've
is
probably
just
gotten like monkeypox already and we didn't even know, or
oh,
something. Hmm.
but that's crazy. That is crazy. And you know what? I swear, I promise. Like it crossed my mind the first time I went, and you know what? You know what? Literally, I thought I was like, nothing will happen because this is such a blessing. Like, why would God want to just get us all sick, even though
Hmm.
there's a high chance it can happen, but it's not gonna happen because we're in the happiest place on earth, and this is a magical moment. Like, that's
Hmm.
not gonna happen. So there
Yeah.
I go, bro, and I drink from the wine, and it's just oh my God, bro. When I think about that, it literally just makes me. That's not
Does it?
healthy. That's
Yeah.
just not right, dude.
I
That is
remember
not
when I
right.
remember when swine flu was circulating. This was like in late 2009, maybe late 2010. I don't even remember when exactly swine flu began and how far it got, but I remember that year. I remember that year in
Yeah.
in August in the in the beautiful province. They so I don't think any swine flu was actually detected there. I don't know what happened there, but basically I never got sick. But there was some sort of fear that people would get sick, and there was a little bit of alteration to how to the normal running of the of the ceremonies, because I remember there was a lot more germex out in the street, and I remember people being instructed not to give the Osculo Santo, the one where people shake hands and kiss the back of their hands on each
Yeah.
other. I remember telling people to not do that, but that's something I break up because I don't know, that's something I remember. But yeah, it is gross that such a thing like that was happening.
Yeah. Hey, have you watched recently the video of this guy? He made a post about the his experience, why he left church,
Yes,
but
yeah,
even more of
definitely.
that about the
I'm glad that
hospital.
I'm glad that that got popular. I saw that.
Dude, that video made me like, oh man, hearing his say his story and how they let the church
Hmm.
didn't help him like in the hospital, the Hospital Siloé.
Yeah.
And I'm
Let
so
me
happy.
say who it is for people that don't know. There's a member from, like, he's not from Guadalajara, but he's from somewhere else in Mexico. And the name of the YouTube channel is El Chino Oficial, maybe. And this person's like in their 30s, 40s, 50s. I'm not too sure. He's a male member, has a family, and he basically made a series of videos about a couple of hours of material where he talks about his experience going to El Hospital Siloé and why he got out of church and why people need to get out of, stuff like that. But yeah, go on about the hospital that he was
Well,
talking about.
just very brief. He pretty much just mentions like uh um it was that's not when he got out, but it was something it was very sad for him because it happened to him because of church, right? His wife, who was the daughter of a minister, got very sick one day. She was literally about to die, bro, and he went to the Hospital Siloé, right? A hospital where he himself and a lot of members helped to build. And it was, he talks about how it was built for the to help the members who couldn't afford treatment for whatever. You figure it's the Apostles Hospital.
Yeah,
It's
they
for
have a
los
statue
hijos.
of Samuel outside. They had a whole
Los
statue.
hijos de Dios can go there and get treatment and whatever and get like at least a discount. So this one day, his his wife gets sick, and he goes and they're telling him how much it's gonna be, and he was like, wow, this is, in his head he was saying like, this is a lot of money, and he didn't have the money at that time for what they wanted to treat his wife. And basically it goes on to saying how they kicked him out because he didn't have the money, and the money was in the way because he didn't have it with them, but it was already in the way to pay, but yet they didn't want to touch his wife until the money got
Hmm.
there. So they kicked him out and literally left him on the street, bro. And and
Yeah.
and he says on the way out he saw like a group, a pair of a couple, sorry, of very 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 old ministers, bro, who served the apostle, and they were also just kicked at the curb because they didn't have the money, and his wife had like this huge headache. Anyways, he ends up going to this different hospital where they helped him, and he even talks about how like members from a different church, I think it was the Pentecostals, they they he's finds himself praying to God, or just he's very hurt because of everything that's happening, and a group of people that are not from La Luz del Mundo, they give him like
Hmm.
this certain like uh uh like a hug to comfort him, and hey, we're gonna be here with you the whole way. He said it was like at least like 30 to 40 people with him. They never left his side, helped him, prayed with him or whatever. Sure, they're with him in that pain. And for him to just like, wow, like my own people left me, but here I am with these people who are I'm supposed to think they're the enemy. They're with me. And it was just like, it's very sad, dude. Like I almost
Hmm.
cried. I'll be honest. I was just like, wow, like
Yeah.
and he never forgot about that. But he continued on to being a member despite you know what happened with him in that situation. I probably would have left if that was to happen to me, bro. But anyways,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
and
I'll put a link to this stuff so people can see for themselves, and it's in Spanish, by the
the
way.
yeah, the nurses were telling him like, don't like that, don't that hospital. There are always people dying there because they can't afford it. And it was supposed to be for members of church, but it's usually people from the world with money that go to the hospital because like nobody can afford it. It's just,
Yeah.
I wish this was more like, because this is something that my dad told me. The apostle's a good person. Like, look, he has a hospital and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, but I mean, I don't know. We should look into that. And I'm glad this came out. I'm glad this
Yeah.
came out, dude, because, you know,
Uh-huh.
these guys are making money off this. They don't want.
Yeah.
So it's a really good video to watch.
Hmm.
It's very touching and moving, and I'm glad it came out because I want everything to get exposed, bro. Like, not, like these people have this like picture that they're out helping the society and make this a world a better place, but their ultimate, you know, um, the ultimate outcome for them is to make money off this. They're always finding ways to generate money. Like Ciudad La Luz del Mundo, this guy wants to build a massive mall, and he wants members to build it for him, and then he wants members to live there, so that the members can use their money to shop in his
And
stores and
and
just
other members can be tourists like there,
and
and
then this
yeah.
it's all just like his own, just everything, just a money making machine. Like it's crazy, bro.
Yeah,
Like
and then like autoconsumo, and there's a lot of things.
the
Um,
autoconsumo, exact,
can,
dude.
can, can, I want to say a couple things. So,
Go
so
for it.
the
Sorry.
hospital the hospital thing is interesting because I've definitely been there and I've walked in. Have I ever been
Wow.
treated there? No, but I've definitely been there. I've walked in. I know of a sort of distant family member that works there as not as a surgeon or anything, but like a different kind of not emergency care doctor, you know. I think I know other like distant family members of mine that have worked there. So I've been there. I've seen the statue of Samuel that's outside. It's a weird
That's weird, bro.
it's a weird thing to have there because yeah, you know, one can say that at least maybe I'm pretty sure that the whoever was building it was that the Joaquinas were saying that like yeah, this thing is being built to help all the members around, but it's strange because it's also like that like university that the church runs in. Is it in Guadalajara or is it somewhere in Mexico? Do you know what I'm talking about though?
Yeah,
That there's like a
the
small university that the church runs.
I heard about it definitely. I
Yeah.
heard about it.
So, you know, the hospital in that the hospital makes me think of that because it's this weird like sort of engine to prop up that apparently is going to make people money. The only thing that people really get from another weird thing about the hospital is that the hospital does a lot of like marketing of its own stuff, or not marketing of its own stuff. But it's weird that when you're in the provincia, you might have a free water bottle handed to you, and it's the Hospital Siloé that has like a stick that's the sticker on the bottle. I've seen that before. And there's other like cleaning products that have the hospital like printed on it. Um, I was gonna say that yeah, that those that fake university and this like and this hospital are weird because they're apparently like I guess they could be making money off of this stuff, but it's a weird like piece of real estate and thing to be operating because it's different from like a ranch or it's different from like the you know all the massive properties that the Joaquin family owns. And if people don't
Yeah.
know, people can look this up. Isaias Alvarado has a story from like August 2019, from like the fall 2019,
Yeah, I'm looking at that
where
right
he
now.
yeah where he lays out like just different properties and you know he has the documents and everything to show that like hey you know the Joaquin family owns this mansion here. These places don't look like they're meant for
There's an article on
yeah
a
yeah
university in Tijuana. Sorry to interrupt you, but since
yeah
you're
no
talking about
I
the
was gonna say that
university,
yeah for sure I've heard of that there's an article on it. I was gonna say that um you know there's a bunch of properties that these people own. There's ranches and all these things, major pieces of real estate with a lot of money you know packed into them um that are there because that are there and they're not there like as like future sites of where a church can be built. Like these are like private domestic enclosed residential spaces that are just never going to be turned into a church, you know. And
it's
yeah,
like,
you know, people have to wake up to the fact that like the family very obviously makes a lot of money through the
yeah,
library and the press and
bro, it drives
and
me,
all these other operations
it
that we're
drives
talking
it
about. Go on.
it drives me crazy to think that, okay, how did he buy these like $1 million properties like the Silver Wolf Ranch in Texas? It's
Yeah,
like,
I've
oh
been there
well,
too, dude.
member can just say,
Weird.
well, God bless them. So like, did it just fall from the sky? And then here you go, Apostle. I'm God, and here's this ginormous property. I'm gonna bless you with this like a couple $1 million, and here's this property. No, like I want the government, especially this is why he's getting investigated. The government wants to see receipts, bro. All right, how'd you get
Yeah.
this money? How'd you pay for it? All right, it was this much money, a couple $1 million, millions of dollars. Okay, how'd you generate all this millions? Like we need to see it on paper. He can't just tell a judge, well, yeah, I'm the man of God. I'm blessed. Like, no,
Mm-hmm.
bro. Like, this is why he's getting investigated. And members need to wake up and just realize, like, yo, this is real. Like, this is reality. You don't just get blessed with millions of dollars out of the nowhere, out of the blank.
Yeah.
It don't just come in it just, no member was just going to ofrendar or offer the apostle millions of dollars. Like, you got to
Mm-hmm.
know that this man, he doesn't work. What the and they asked Lem Garcia on an interview, like, yo, so we see that Nason owns all these properties.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know, since you're the spokesman of the church, like, what does he do? What kind of work has he done, like, to generate all this money? And he's like, oh, well, that I can't speak on that because I don't think it's right for me to talk about his personal life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
dude. everybody knows this guy doesn't work.
Hmm.
He has all this prop that all these things that you mentioned. He has hospitals. He has all these properties. He's building cities, commercial sites called La Ciudad La Luz del Mundo. With what money?
Hmm.
It's crazy. Sorry.
Yeah. 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 It's definitely crazy. And again, it all comes down to just, you just gotta question what you're being told to not
Yeah.
question, and
And members,
you just gotta be
it's like
comfortable with being a little uncomfortable. It's gonna get bigger. Like it's gonna get way more
this is
uncomfortable when you start
this.
like questioning
Yeah.
your faith. But
This
people
is
just
what I
gotta do
mean
it.
by members. Sorry. This is what I mean
No,
by
go ahead, go ahead.
members not uh educating themselves. Like if they knew a little bit or understood or somebody taught them a little bit more about how it works, like if you buy a house and you don't have
Hmm.
a you can't even buy a house in California if you don't have a job, you've been there for 2 years, good credit, like these things, you need all these things, dude. You can't just be out here living this life and then you don't have no way of proving like where this money's coming from, you know to just think that all the members can just come up with is just God bless them. That's crazy, and that
Hmm.
just speaks volumes on how it's, sorry to say this, but how some members are brainwashed. Because I know some members can think like and say, you know what, Julian's right. Like, if the apostle owns this much houses and properties, like you have to show some type of receipts that allows you to be purchasing this this amount of properties with large amount of money,
Yeah,
and you're not showing like what like think about it. Now someone's not out there working. Tell me one job that he has got, or whoever. What has he done besides
yeah,
just yell off the top of his lungs in churches?
yeah.
This money's coming from,
And that's the only context they see him in. They never see they always see him in a church context. The cameras are never rolling when he's in his various fucking properties. That's where the cameras aren't
and
rolling.
it's
That's where that's where young women and women over and under 18
yep.
are going to do free labor for him too. You imagine that,
Yeah,
like
in his
they're not
house.
even paid
Yeah,
for that, and he's not spending
exactly.
money on that stuff, and that's where cameras aren't allowed, and that's where you're never going to see footage of him, in his
Never.
quiet moments when he's
All you
eating or
have, yeah, all you have
yeah.
close to that is members who've seen it, members who've heard stories, and know members that've been there helping at his house, girls, like, and then when you start talking to all these people that are members, and then it gets crazier when they're like very close members to his house, to his family that know stuff. That why
Hmm.
would they be making this up? Let alone his own family, you know, to say
Hmm.
what this guy has done, but yet now they choose not to believe him. Like, well, okay, so you really think there's gonna be a video of Nason committing all these crimes? Like
Hmm.
Berea's gonna be filming him? Like, no, Nason's not gonna do this in the Dominical. Like, this stuff is gonna be done, like you say, where the cameras are not rolling. Um, so it's just crazy, bro. It's just
Yeah.
insane, insane.
And and but at the same time, the members are taught to that deep down inside in their soul, that their salvation depends upon them thinking and believing that they actually really know him, and they only see him in certain contexts, and they are only allowed to think of him in a certain way.
Yeah,
He has his pictures up, he doesn't go and put them there, but members are taught to have a picture of him up in his nice suits in their living room, as if it's like he's another family member of theirs. And um yeah, I know what you mean, and it's just a matter of hammering this message home.
I was just you know
Hmm.
You know what? I when this whole Santa Cena thing was going on, that guy that I'm telling you that's dating the sister from church, and he was like just hitting me up, saying, I like your videos of the AJ, this and that. Anyways,
Hmm.
we were talking about the Santa Cena because it hadn't happened yet. It was coming up, and I told him like, hey, did you know that on August the 14th is actually the day that the founder was born? And he was like, "What?" And I'm like, "Yeah, if you just Google Eusebio Joaquin's name, it'll literally say It's on August the 14th. And if you
Yeah.
look into that, you'll realize that way back then, before it was called Santa Cena, it was actually like this huge party for him, and people would give him money and flowers, and it said to like this guy would do like stuff he wasn't supposed to, and ultimately, if you have to do your research, but if you go back, it's like an era where like the church split into two, and in this times I believe it was not even called La Luz del Mundo, it was called something else. So the fact that the church had a split because a lot of members weren't okay with this guy receiving money and all these presents, when they split, then I'm sorry, Eusebio decides to name the church La Luz del Mundo after that split. It's kind of like tangled. You just got to go back and do your research, but it's crazy
Hmm.
to it kind of does make sense. Like, why is it that La Santa Cena is in this guy's birthday? And
Yeah.
all they did was just cover it up with like Santa Cena, this
Hmm.
and that. But how many times, AJ, or and members who are watching this video, when it's coming up, the Santa Cena is coming up, and they're saying, "Hey,
Hmm.
we gotta prepare ourselves. Start selling what you don't need in the house. Start selling this and that. Your TV, if you're not using this, put up a yard sale. Waste anything, but just start preparing yourself because." It's a day where it's a ultimate celebration, and all these things cost money. So you need money. The members have to pay for the decorations, the members have to pay for everything. And not only that, but on top of all that, the members have to give offerings. A nice offering for the apostle would be nice. Let's be a church that puts a smile on his face. And it has to be money. Like,
Hmm.
it's just money, money, money. And it's on this day. So it's a huge cover up.
Yeah,
Like,
for
people,
sure.
members get like washed up with the whole, you know, he just goes, oh, God, forgive their sins, please take me, take my body, don't, and I'm a cry, and then, all right, you guys are forgiven, you guys can go back home now. And then the minute people go back home, they start sinning, and I mean, I would sin, it's like you can't help it, like you're human. So it's like this thing, all this thing, just for him to forgive you, and then in a split second, everybody goes back to living their normal life and doing what they were doing again. And it's like, it was just all for the money. It's like a huge party, just so this guy can just collect real quick. And if you
Yeah, for
go
sure.
to the criminal documents, this guy was actually committing all these crimes on that day.
Around those days,
It's,
yeah.
it's crazy, dude. But yeah, like it all goes back to like Eusebio, his birthday. It all just makes sense if you just go back and do some research. Like it's just all there. But people,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about in the past of those like early decades and years of the church. I know what you're talking about. It's not exactly like laid out like that in my head, but I do know what you mean when it's not a coincidence that the Santa Cena, that the Holy Supper is on August 14th. That was Eusebio's birthday. And then also when Samuel like dies, well when Samuel was around and August 14th was the day of the Santa Cena. February 14th was Samuel's birthday, and so everyone would wake up early and celebrate that and whatever else, right? Some people would go to Guadalajara to celebrate it and whatever else. But then also when Samuel goes away, the next date that Santa Cenas are held on is also fucking
on his birthday.
February 14th, like right on top of Samuel's birthday, and it's strange because on one end you can say is really what happens with that is that Samuel's just not mentioned anymore, and that on that, and his logo's taken off from everywhere. There's a new logo, and then he's not really mentioned on the 14th because there's a Santa Cena, and so that's more important. He may get like name dropped or like something like that, but
Yeah,
he's not there anymore. And the cantos that are being sung, it's a different sort of routine of them. It's a different flavor.
yeah,
It's a different um certain names might be replacing them. um and this is something I've also thought of, and I'll just say this like very quickly without getting into too much detail, but yeah, like the doctrine, the need to keep the doctrine going, to keep the organization going when Samuel died and Nathan was coming into play. um it's strange because it's like a weird like perversion of grief, like I'm very sure that people felt like grief for Samuel's death. Some people grew up around him, whatever ideas people had of him, I'm sure there's like a grief in that, and this person like dying and going away. But then also
right.
some people are really happy that he's dead. But what I'm saying is that like anyone who's there who's a member and legit, grieves. Um, I get it, I get it. But then at the same time is no, not at the same time, but like just give it a little bit of time, and then Nason kicks in, and then it's like just everyone forget about Samuel. He's not the main patriarch in your home anymore, in your life anymore. The picture of him in your home can be replaced with Nason's actually. Um, and uh and
It's
uh
yeah,
and then like maybe like the year anniversary of Samuel's death. I don't think there was like a little celebration or anything for that. Really, the main emphasis is Nason, and that's all strange. It's all strange that they do that to you. That's on top of like a lot of other emotions that they pervert in their own way, like love and
yeah.
familial ties. But yeah, what were we
You
gonna say?
you remind me of, and I think I've mentioned this in the past, but one thing that really it just really catches my just you have to just catch it, bro. The day that that song was like proclaimed by the new apostle, I always wondered how did Berea know way before like the dream was revealed. The reason why I say this was because when if you look at the screen or if you're looking at like Nason Joaquin, right, the day of the the day of the whole the day of the grand
The,
revealing, the manifestación already, whatever,
yeah.
you know, everybody's waiting for this like answer, and this is something that nobody is supposed to know. They say we just got this letter, guys. We're about to read it, and we're gonna give the name right away. So they're reading, and no one's supposed to know this, right? But as soon as they say it, right underneath their screen, the transmission screen,
Oh yeah, like the cryon. They have
it's
the
how it says like the logo of church and like it's like just there. It says Apóstol de Jesucristo Nason Joaquin like on the letters. It's already there, ready. And I'm assuming the person who's behind the screen doing all these logos, this like commercial breaks, like he needs
yeah,
time for that, bro. You don't just like have it ready and just bam. So
yeah,
as soon as they call Nason name, oh Nason Joaquin, like the letters pop up right underneath him and it says Apóstol de Jesucristo Nason Joaquin. And I'm like, how the hell did they do that so quick? Like you had to
hmm
have this ready. You've had to have this ready,
yeah,
to prepare all that. You can't just know. Imagine if they messed up and they put the letters B before. How crazy would that be? Think about that.
yeah,
And like the members already know and they haven't even gave out the letter yet. That would have been crazy, bro. That would
yeah.
have been insane. I don't know
I
if you
know
know
what
what
you
I'm
mean.
saying.
But so what you're talking about now is the December 8th, like 2, 3 in
Yeah.
the morning. And you were when you started describing that, I was in my mind, I was like, yeah, the cameras were rolling for some reason at 3 in the morning, right? The cameras were on. There's footage of this that you can see on YouTube, that
Yeah.
people have uploaded, and it's there for everyone to see. And when one is like thinking clearly about what's going on and understands that the organization is really like a cult, and this is when they're tugging the strings, and this is when they're doing the smoke show, trying to keep the ball rolling, trying to keep the whole thing going. Yeah, there's that cry on the banner at the bottom, yeah, that gives
Yeah.
the title, that had to be prepared to whatever, give one 10, 15 minutes, whatever. But it's weird, it's a weird thing to see there. um and then
Did you see his
again,
younger
like the cameras
brother?
are rolling for some reason. For some reason, there's footage of this at like 3 in the morning. Yeah, what were we saying?
If you notice, like right when it's revealed, his brother Atlai Joaquin, who is like a drug addict now, everybody like he got out, he got divorced and whatever. Anyways, his
Mm-hmm.
Atlai is there. He gets the mic. If you look closely, now someone's over there being hugged, and like he noticed that everybody's just like there's no more music playing or something, like they're not singing. No one's singing actually, so he grabs the mic and he starts to like say this like song, and he's going like this to hype everybody up, like, hey, we gotta like let's motivate everyone else, like. So he grabs the
Mm-hmm.
mic and he's singing like this canto with this like voice. He can't even sing, bro. He's just like Hosanna, na, 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 na. And then right away the whole, how they always have somebody in the background to sing, like
Yeah.
very professional to like get the whole party just going boom
Yeah.
boom 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 boom.
Yeah.
So he grabs the mic because apparently the guy who's supposed to do it is falling asleep, or I don't know what he's doing. Maybe he's eating some tamales. So this guy is
Mm-hmm.
the athlete gets the mic and he's singing it, na 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 na, and he's going like this with his hand. And then this guy who's supposed to do it gets the mic and he starts to like follow up with him, and then the
Does
whole
that
church
happen?
goes,
I don't remember
dude, it
this, but
happens. If you look when a song gets called, everybody's just like kind of like crying or whatever. But then he grabs the mic. His athlete fucking he grabs the mic, and he
hmm
starts to like, hey, you guys forgot. Come on, you guys
yeah,
gotta sing. So he's
yeah.
singing, and then as soon as the guy in the back with the very professional voice starts to sing, then he stops. It's like weird. It's like program. It's just like it's dude. It's just and all the
hmm
members start to
we
sing.
we can pull it up if you want and watch the video. Watch like we
If
can
you look at
scrub
the
through the
clip,
video if you want.
yeah, I'll show you the clip. I'll send it to you, and then you can just add it on the clip. But you can see it, bro. It's dude, it's
hmm
crazy. Like you can tell this
Um,
whole thing is programmed.
yeah.
Y a la victoria vamos con su brazo fuerte y robusto, siempre defiende a su rey. Pues sin temor avancemos, entusiasmados por fe, mientras alegres cantamos.
One thing I'll add to that is, I appreciate you for pointing that out, but another thing I'll add is that, yeah, when that is going on, um, when that is going on, the family's up there close to the stage, and like when Nason goes up, you can hear him on the mic. That like the mic is on, and you can hear on the mic him saying, "Get the family up here, get." Like he was just sort of gathering everyone, so,
He,
so
he
everyone
asked
could be in
he asked
sight.
for a he asked for Atlaí. He said, ¿Dónde está Atlaí? Dile que se
Okay,
venga.
he does, yeah.
Dile que se venga. Like,
And then another thing I'll say is that it's weird that the sort of letter is read. For some reason, the cameras are rolling at like 3 a.m. He's sort of corralling everyone to get on stage to make it seem like to make it seem like everyone's on board. To make it to for everyone to see the family and see, oh yeah, here's it's going to keep going down and it's going to keep going down. One thing I'll say, and then we haven't even gotten, I'll point this out, is we haven't even gotten to when Nathan actually starts speaking, and everyone has really pointed out to one another recently about how he's saying that he was hearing the voice of God and he thought it was like a brother like doing a plank on him is and it's this sort of very just dumb things that when you know if you're a member and if you're a member around there, if you're in the temple, all these things happening around you are literally the most magical, like wonderful things that apparently can happen to you in your life, and a show of God's force and God's love for the community and whatever else. But the thing is that to our eyes, when we see these things, we see like the exact opposite. And the exact opposite is it's all orchestrated. It's all just not even choreographed, because they don't even really know what to do, and there's all these weird things that are going on. Um,
yeah, I
um,
know what you mean.
um, I
Exactly.
don't know.
Like
It's just really tragic uh,
the fact that Nason starts to speak in this like vocabulary that he never spoke, just because the Bible is written, right?
mhm,
The vosotros, like it's and
yeah.
this like old vintage Spanish, and that's just
hmm
because that's how the Bible was written in that version. But I mean, you could just buy a different
Yeah,
version,
and
and
Samuel will talk like that too.
yeah,
And
and the reason they do that is because in Mexico, that's the version they have, right? A lot of the versions they have is that version where they speak this like vintage Spanish from Spain and the vosotros and this and that. But it's like, bro, like there's more versions. There's a
hmm
version in like Chinese, there's a version in different languages. There's a version in just
hmm
normal. It doesn't talk in the vintage Spanish or whatever. And members can't think that you know, Samuel and Nason, like when they're like it's very rare to see them talk like in public or something as the apostle,
hmm
because they don't talk like that anymore. They don't use that Spanish. Even as Nason in his phone calls, sometimes in his phone calls were on his letters to the members. They would read his letters and it's like he forgot to talk like that. He forgot to talk with this vintage Spanish, and this is why a lot of people think like there's no way this guy's writing these letters, because the minute he would write them, the next day the members the or that same day freaking the pastors had it ready and reading it to the, you can't, it takes like a week for it to go through the whole process. The correctional officers, they have to inspect it, they have to get the letter and make sure it's not, they have to see it, there's no drugs in the envelope, there's no messages or anything. It has to be inspected. It takes like a week to receive a letter or to send a letter for the inmate to get it, but yet
Hmm.
Nason is writing a letter and they get it the next day.
Hmm.
And then some days he forgets to speak his like vintage Spanish, and it's just
Yeah.
all this. It's just like a
Well,
show.
one thing I want to say is I want to make an effort to shout out more people, and by shout out I mean, like, to point people in different resources. And um there's there's this guy in California named Abisai, and he has his own channel. His name is the Abi Lobby. I've probably brought it up before, but
Mm.
the and then Abi, and then lobby as in like hotel lobby. And I bring it up because I remember he had a video where he talks about that, where he's like, "Well, why did nations Spanish change?" He has good videos. I enjoy them a lot, and one of them was about that, where he talks about like, why does nations Spanish change, and he probably talks about other things
Oh
like
yeah, I think I know what you're
like
talking about.
he probably talks about other things
Did he talk about like when
like
his whole mood changed when he's taking the prayer, and he starts to like, is that him?
oh yeah,
And he
he
and,
he's
and
he's
he
good
gets
at
into
sort
like
of
this. He gets into like
mocking.
this, dude.
Hmm.
That's crazy how he thought about that, because a lot of the times when I would take prayers, I would just naturally start acting, and then I would go sit down and be like, I didn't really feel nothing. I was just, you know,
Hmm.
pretending. But I know who you're talking
Yeah.
about. Shout out to him.
um
That's cool.
Yeah, he has a video and people can look that up if they want. It's titled, Why Did Nason's Spanish Change? And again, it's also about like, just members only know him in a particular way. And they're not gonna see Nason on like Good Morning America. I'll go ahead and
Is
say
there
something.
anything?
So
Well, we know this video was just kind of made to just, uh, just see where what we've been up to, and just to kind of catch up on a few things. It wasn't really planned. It was just more
hmm.
like, hey, let's link up, let's make a video.
Hmm.
Just, I feel like people, like your viewers, and enjoy them, because it's just like a natural. We're in our natural habitat or whatever. Like I'm wearing a damn tank top. But
Yeah.
if you wanted to like make a future video where we actually, or ask your audience, like if they have any questions, it's probably questions that we've answered in the past, but I feel like a lot of members are new members are leaving, and they're
Hmm.
way behind schedule as far as like what's happened, because they've all believed that this whole thing was just like against the church. But I think a lot of the members who are barely leaving, and after the conviction,
Yeah.
they need to go back, bro, and do all their research, like 3 years of information, and it would be nice to just make a video, or at least like a part one, to point out like, okay, this is when I did this is that, very brief, like a timeline or something, just to help out members, because they're probably right now struggling. They need to go back and like find all this, like, well, where did we go wrong, or where did things took a wrong turn or whatever, right? I don't
Hmm.
know if that makes sense, but I feel like a lot of members are, like for example, that member who I'm telling you, who's dating this sister from that she's still in church. She's
Yeah.
telling me how like she's barely doing her research, bro, after the conviction thing. She's barely doing all her research, and she started like see like members that have left, and she doesn't even realize. What I was tripping out on is the reporter. He's a reporter from I want to say Telemundo or Univision. I'm not sure, but I think he's Nason's nephew, and he works as a reporter for Telemundo, and he's out. He's got out of church, and since he's a reporter, he's over here like sharing. Nason Joaquin Garcia se declaró culpable, and he's his nephew. I don't know if you know who I'm talking about. He's
I can't think of a name off the top of my head, but I know that I'm aware of someone like this.
I'll send you his info. It would be nice to contact him, bro, because this guy's his nephew, dude. I want to say
Hmm.
he's his nephew, and he's a reporter for Telemundo or Univision, and he's out. He's out. His family's out, and I remember this chick was like bashing him and like just telling him stuff. You know,
Yeah.
typical members who are still, in this like mindset or whatever. But anyways, I think it would be nice to really, plan a video like ahead and take some notes or talk about I don't know what would be a good topic to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, as someone has been convicted, you know what would be good? I have a so for those who don't know, I have a brother who went to prison and knows how it runs out in there as far
Mm-hmm.
as pedophiles. And I had a lot of people ask me like, do you think he's gonna get protection in there? This and that, and the answer is no, and I can explain why. But it'd be nice to just give a video to members because what I think is gonna happen, bro, is that now that he's in prison, the pastors are gonna come up with a bunch of lies to just use this to their advantage. Like when they said that Nason was like had this like Russian guy singing and he was giving the Osculo Santo. Maybe they won't, because obviously, well, a lot of us are waking up and you can't just
Mm-hmm.
start putting this like picture, this magical Disney movie of you being inside and doing like all this magical powers. Like there's you're on lockdown, bro. You can't just be out here having like dominicales in prison. Like that's not gonna happen, especially if you're a pedophile. Like you're the ultimate target for like a lot of gangs in there, and you
Yeah.
have an hour to shower, and in that hour, like you need to be careful. And you have
Yeah.
more, but now someone won't leave his cell because he can't. In prison, it's a little different. You're able to
Mm-hmm.
leave your cell, or maybe you know what? We'll just save this for like a different video, bro. I don't want to,
Yeah, for
say
sure.
too
Yeah,
much because we're running out of
it's
time.
yeah, it's interesting. But I'll say right now that uh that so Social Martin's case begins next month, and so I'm just curious what more information that'll bring. The church does not look good in the eyes of the media, and the bad press is only going to keep happening. There's documentaries and other material that's going to come out more and more. Which just by the I did a short video with like 15 minutes or something, like less than 15 minutes the other day on like Telemundo or Televisa, like 2 3 weeks ago, and this thing has like 2.3 million like views. Like like that's a lot of people to just know to
Yeah.
at least just know about something like that. um I'm optimistic, and we just have to be patient, and we just have to keep churning out the content, and the ideas, and learning from the people that reach out to us, and trying to just give ideas about how to continue hammering at the church. So yeah, I'm excited for what the future holds. The things are less tense because we're past the conviction. Like the dude, what happened, and we didn't even really talk about our reactions to that, but we're past that, and I'm glad that we made it to now. And yeah, thank you for talking to me. I definitely have to sit down and start making scripts or something to to get videos
We
going,
can
because I kind of like always kept this channel on the back burner a bunch for other things that I'm doing, but it's useful to keep um talking here and doing stuff.
yeah, what we can talk about like our reaction
Hmm.
since we didn't really say our reaction and
Yeah.
a lot of us weren't happy with the outcome, the amount of time he got, but we can
Hmm.
say why he got that time. We can talk about like why he took that deal and the whole contradiction of what he said was going to happen to what really happened, like
Yeah.
giving out the different points of views on that and, why members should. It's a huge red flag. His whole conviction, getting a plea deal, huge red flag of what he said. God behind him
Hmm.
and God was. I don't know. It's just retarded,
Yeah,
but for
God's
sure, bro.
behind Kevin Spacey too, dude. Because like a week after he pled guilty and all that stuff went down, Alan Jackson was in the UK. Like, there's video of him like hustling Kevin Spacey out of a building to a car, something like that. Like, like that's
Yeah,
it just looks
and
bad. Like even when one knows that. Uh-huh.
it's crazy that it's the same lawyer, right?
Yeah, it's
Nason,
Alan.
people, I don't think people have they don't realize who Nason's lawyer is. His lawyer is a very uh, well-known lawyer to defend pedophiles in Hollywood, And
Mhm.
members, that's a huge red flag, bro. Maybe we should do a video on Alan Jackson so members can get familiar with like who this guy really is and the work he
Yeah.
does.
Hmm.
But but yeah, man. All right, man. Well, hey,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this is
I'm
great. This is
happy.
fantastic.
I'm
Good to hear
happy
from you.
we got to talk and people can see us. I haven't been struck by lightning or anything like that.
Yeah, no, we're chilling. We're
I'm
okay.
just chilling, enjoying my life. I have so much going on, and yeah,
Yeah, for sure, dude. You always have like an open uh seat here, so just always let me know whenever you want to come on, and thank you for letting me talk to you. That it helps prompt me, to do it and to put it out there for people. Yeah.
for sure, man.
Otherwise, everyone else, like, comment, subscribe, let us know what's going on, share this with people. Let us know let us what you know what you think in the comments or in private. I'll put Julian's email and maybe like another piece or two of information so that people can know. And yeah, thank you for doing this. This is good.
Yep.
Cool. Peace,
All right,
man. I'm
guys.
gonna go ahead
Thank
and
you.
stop this now.